Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Monday, July 20th, 2026. We're in a big week right now. We've got this channel bottom that spans about 16 months. It held the April low, essentially held the June low as well. Because I do think we slipped within 1% of this. I'm going by memory here. Maybe not, maybe within 2%. But here it is. 371.03 is our base. It can continue to contain selling not only through the rest of July, but possibly through the rest of the year. Our indication for that would be a settlement above 433.77, which is this descending channel top that spans about, well, almost a year of activity, but really more about 9-10 months. It also contained buying pressures several months ago. We're still in this wedge, so it is a market to still buy into low 370s, selling the low 430s, continuing to narrow through time. If we do close below 371.03, and that would need to be indeed by a full 1% margin of 367.62 at the end of the week. I think that's important right now, and I'm going to get to that in a moment, but 367.62 is a 1% violation threshold on a line study that exceeds 6 months, and I use that and have for years as sort of a validator of the sell signal. Until then, the analogy of the rubber band is stretching to the downside but is yet to snap is appropriate. And so 371.03, solid support, able to contain selling potentially through the rest of the year. And if we close below it by a 1% margin at the end of the week, then we enter a significant sell signal that should, by the end of September or sooner, yield 303.17. And by the end of the year, perhaps 227.77 would be in play. That's how meaningful I think the sell signal is. But on an intra-week basis, we do have a descending channel bottom at 359.31, and I have that as a weekly support level right now. This is what I kind of call the head fakery potential. You know, where we close today, for instance, potentially at 367.62 or lower, below the 371.03 by a 1% margin. We could even do this on an intraday basis. We do have precedent for that kind of volatility. So if we do break 367.62, we could see 359.31 intraday. And I still like this descending channel bottom because it does violate long-term support. You're going to get shorts pouring into the market. But I do think we could even spend a day or two then trading inside of the 359.31 to 71.03 region. And then if we close above 371.03 on Friday, that is your indication for upward continuation. So I'm not comfortable playing the short side, jumping the gun on a long-term short position unless we close below 359.31 on an intra-week basis. But as the week continues, as we get into Thursday, Friday, I will reduce this to a session containment level only because I think the true meaning in terms of a trend-defining sell signal would be a settlement on Friday, 362.62 or lower. That is your indication to exit the market long-term, and play the short side, buying, say, 300 strike out of the money puts, for instance, that don't expire for, I would go 3 to 6 months out on that expiration date. And yes, you could reach for 230 strike out of the money puts. I would go probably a year out on that. I like to go twice the length of time compared to the expiration. In other words, if I consider this to be a 6-month objective in the low 230s, upper 220s, following a settlement of 367.62 or lower, I'll go a full year out on those options. To preserve, reduce your theta element is really what I'm saying. You preserve your delta, reduce theta, which is your time decay element. So I'm not going to get deep in the weeds on that, but let's jump to the daily chart here. I've already shown this chart. There is this rising trend line. I'm not a big trend line follower, but they work a little bit better in Tesla than other markets. And indeed, 377.31 did capture a Friday's low. If we break 77.31 today, you can anticipate that 371.03 long-term support quite easily on an intraday basis. Holding above 377.31 will keep 395.97 in reach perhaps today. I don't see a clear indication of that, but this would be a level to sell on an intraday, possibly daily basis. We could almost make this session containment able to contain daily highs, perhaps, and we could fall away from here. So on an intraday basis, if you're a day trader, buying 377.31, selling 395.97. If we close today above 395.97, expect to test probably tomorrow with that kind of volatility of 408.69. 408.69 is our 3 to 5 day a 1 to 2 week swing trade level. It may contain buying not only on a daily basis, but even through the rest of the week, and we could from there fall back into the low 370s within a week or two. Inversely, closing above 408.69 signals 433.77 over the same time frame, possibly within 3 to 5 days, but within 1 to 2 weeks. 433.77 is wrong chart. Let me jump to it here. Bear with me. Is this, that is also the wrong chart. Bear with me here. Gosh, there's so many charts here to jump around. 433.77. So that becomes really kind of a 1 to 2 week, possibly within 3 to 5 day target of closing above 408.69. This is once again the zone that may contain buying through the month of August, and inside of which we remain locked in this wedge. If we do close, not this week, because it's not going to happen, but if over the next few weeks we happen to push above 433.77 by a 1% margin, close above it on a weekly basis, this week's magic number is 438.10, then we enter a buy signal that I think ultimately yields 546.67 by the end of the year. I don't think we show that chart anymore. There it is. There it is. Yeah, this is your buy signal into later year. Until then, we're locked in this wedge between 371.03 and 433.77. Once again, closing below 371.03 today by a 1% margin of 367.62 does set up a test tomorrow of 359.31. And for the early week, I like buying into this level. I don't see a reason to go short through the rest of the week and into really August trade unless we close below 359.31. Then of course we're anticipating this 303.17 formation within, this could be as little as 3 to 5 weeks, but I give it the better part of 2 months. But until then, I'm gonna commit to 359.31 as a level that you can buy into, and then when we rotate up and close back above 371.03, that is your indication that the market is likely within 3 to 5 weeks to push back into the 430s. I think that pretty much summarizes it. I'm going to leave it at that. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. By the way, I don't know if you know this or not, but this PDF file with all your support and resistance levels is downloadable at wickedstocks.com, and we also offer that 2-week free trial. I'm going to leave it at that for Monday's Daily Tesla Report.
If you're finding value in this analysis, it's only a glimpse of what we offer. Your real trading edge starts at wickedstocks.com. Each week, premium members receive 2 high-probability stock picks. Each one comes with a complete trade plan, including exact entry, profit target, stop loss, and regular updates so you can manage the trade with confidence. You'll also get daily video analysis in the top traded markets, the SPY, the Triple Q, and NVIDIA, highlighting the key price levels, trends, and trade setups we're focused on. Whether you're day trading or swing trading, these insights help you zero in on the highest quality opportunities with clarity. Start your 2-week free trial and trade with clarity from day one.